I think started now. Started?
Started, sir. Started.
Started now. So next we can take quality factor. Parallel RLC circuit was there. Parallel RLC circuit. Have you done that parallel one yesterday? R
Yes, sir.
L C or LC in parallel. This one I think you have done already.
Yes, I is equals to IC plus IL plus IR vector.
Vector sum, yes, vector sum. If I have to take I as peak value, or I have to take I as average value, or I have to take I as RMS value. In all these cases, I have to take this I as vector sum of IR plus IL, or we can say complex number sum, or IC. This sum is equal to I. This is equal to I. And as far as voltage is concerned, that is V is equal to VL is equal to VC is equal to VR. All these are equal. So this is how we will do. And if I have to represent in phasor diagram, how to represent in phasor diagram? In this case, I will prefer to take V as reference. Even if V is given as 30 sine omega t plus phi, then also I will prefer to take V as reference. I will tell you why. Because or maybe I can take this V not as reference. I can take omega t, sine omega t as reference. If I take sine omega t as reference, if I take this sine omega t as reference here it is omega t direction or reference line, then plus 5 from here, plus 5 from here, what is existing? Voltage is existing as plus 5 this side. And with respect to the voltage, I know the current in this voltage is same here also. Same voltage here also at VL is also same. But with respect to VL means this is also equal to VL. And with respect to VL, current lags. Otherwise also you know that inductors try to oppose the rate of change of current. Is it true or not? So therefore IL will be lagging. How much it will be lagging? 90 degrees behind the VL. Although here VL happens to be equal to V also. What about VC? VC will be leading. IC will be leading, sorry. IC will be leading. How much IC will be leading? 90 degree. This side IC. And what about IR? IR will be in the same direction. This is IR. What will be the resultant then? Then I can take one here. IC, I'm assuming more. Then IC minus IL will be this. And resultant will become, this is net I. Let us say this angle we obtained as maybe alpha. Then what will be the value of I now? If I obtain this as alpha, then I will be getting I as whatever magnitude you got for I. Let us call we got magnitude of peak value of I as I naught. Then I will be writing I as I naught into sine omega t plus 5 was already there. 5 was already there, but plus alpha is also there now. Plus
Alpha plus phi.
Alpha. That is how we will be getting. And how to obtain this? How to obtain it? For that, let us take some example. Then it will be easier. If I take example of something, maybe V is 30 only, already given. That is enough. IC, let it be 10 unit, and let this be 20 unit, and let this be something 5 unit. Let it be like that. 10 unit, 20 unit, 50 unit. Already I have given in terms of reactance. Means I don't have to multiply by omega. It is not, I'm not giving 20 Henry. I'm already giving 20 ohm. Means I am already giving it as reactance value. Okay. So if this is, and we know, although I am giving 20, but it does not mean I should take 20. I should take J into 20. And this I should take as minus J into 1 by 10. 1 by 10 I will be taking it, right?
Sir, no, sir.
Minus 10 J only, sir.
Minus 10 only, sir.
X is only 10, no, sir. X is only 10.
Right. He's right. Minus 10 J, because obviously it is already 1 by omega C. That is only 10. That is only having units of ohm, right? Minus J into 10. And that is plus 5, right? Only, exactly right. So what do we get now from here? From here, I think we can now get one at a time. Get the peak value of IC. What is the peak value of IC coming out to be? Peak value of IC will be peak value of voltage 30 divided by what is it? Minus J into 10. That is equal to J into 3 unit. That is IC. Okay. So understand here, This IC has what phase? From here, somebody will think like this, that this is a reference line, and as compared to reference line, it is along imaginary side 3 unit along J side. So somebody will think it has phase of pi by 2, but not like that. That is only when we are taking V as 30 unit. Although V 30? Is V 30 actually? V is not 30. What is V here? V is also 30 cos phi, 30 cos phi along the real, plus 30 sin phi along J cap. That is V actually. But if I do that way, if I write this way, then it will become more complicated to write. Therefore, I'm assuming V for the time being, I'm assuming V to be at reference. And if I take that V as reference here, then it means whatever I value of I am getting, that I will be getting relative to V. So relative to V, it is in which location? It is J. If V is the real, if I am assuming V to be real axis, then relative to V, it is along the imaginary axis, and value of it is 3 unit. So therefore, it is as compared to this, it is towards this side. As compared relative to it, it is means 90-degree angle. Relative to this, the phase is 90-degree. That is what we mean by here. Otherwise, if you want to get exact phase, therefore I was saying in the beginning, no need to take this as reference line. Take always voltage as a reference in the beginning, and start solving by taking voltage as reference. But at last, make the correction. What will be the correction at last? All the phases which we obtain by taking voltage as reference, in all those phases, I will add phi extra term at last. In the beginning, I can assume V to be at reference only, so that I don't have to take V having imaginary part. I will take just V having only real part. Means I will do like this. If I have to do it, I will do it in this way. I will take V only as along reference. This is V, and it is 30 unit. Then I will find IC. IC is coming out to be equal to J into 3. Then I will write IC as this side. What is IC? IC is J into 3. Similarly, tell me what is IL. IL will be 30 divided by, because I am assuming 30 to be real.
30 by 20J.
30 by 20J.
Minus
So that
3J.
that will be minus J into
Minus 3 by 2.
minus
J.
3 by 2. 3 by 2 means it will be somewhere below here this side. Minus J into 3 by 2. That is our IL value. This was our IC value. This was our V value. Now, what about third one, IR? IR is simplest. Just simply V 3 by 30 by 5, that is equal to 6. 6 unit, let us say it is here. Okay, this is here. So I want to get the resultant current. So resultant current will be obtained how? First of all, I will take this minus this, which we are getting as
3 by 2.
3 by 2 upwards. So it is IC minus IL finally, which is just 3 by 2. 3 by 2. Okay. When I am saying IC minus IL, then I am saying magnitude of IC minus magnitude of IL. Obviously, otherwise it is IC plus IL if I want to add as a complex number. 3 by 2J. It is IC plus IL only. We are adding these. Okay. Why we are adding? Because as I told you, by complex numbers, I will add it. I will add it like by complex numbers also, right? 3 by 2J and 6 also. So what is the net complex number coming out to be? Net current coming out to be, as I know here, IR 6 plus it was J into, it was plus minus J into 3 by 2 plus J into 3. So net I value comes out to be J 6 plus J into 3 by 2. That is net I value. So what is the net complex number coming out to be? This here. Here I am getting it. Now, what angle it makes here? I know I can find that angle now easily because I know the imaginary part and I know the real part. Imaginary part is 3 by 2. So we can say tan phi is equal to imaginary part, which is 3 by 2 divided by 6, which is I think 1 by 4. So that is tan phi. Then what is the value of phi? Now let us write the value of
already phi, sir.
So I took phi. Take it some other angle, maybe alpha. Take it alpha then. Take it alpha, right? Take it alpha. This is the phase now, alpha. So what do we get the phase now? Tell me. We are getting tan inverse 1 by 4. And what is the value of I as a function of time? I as a function of time while we are writing. Then remember, it is relative to, it is not the actual phase. It is relative phase angle. It is relative phase. Relative to whom? Relative to voltage. It is related to, so actual phase will be now, actual phase will be initial phase which was already phi plus alpha. Phi plus alpha, that will be the actual phase. Phi plus tan inverse of 1 by 4. That will be the total phase now. So if I have to write value of I as a function of time, then don't commit this mistake of writing I naught into sine omega t plus alpha. Don't forget that this was only relative to V, but actual phase is not this. It is just relative phase. Actual phase is alpha plus phi. Actual phase will be alpha plus phi. So that will be the answer. And what will be magnitude wise I naught value? If I want to find magnitude wise, that I can find, I think 3 by 2 square plus 6 square under the root, which will be magnitude wise I value, I naught value, I can say, what is that? That is coming
Root
out to be
153 by 2.
153
Root
divided by
2.
2. So then I will write root 153 whole divided by 2 into sine omega t plus 5 plus tan inverse 1 by 4. That is how I will vary as a function of time, which I will be varying this way. This branch current,
Relative to V.
this current will be varying in this way. This current, not relative to V. Now it is non, it is effective. Relative, it is not relative phase. It is already total now. Phi is added in this. It is total already. This is how it will be varying. So once I know how it is varying, and if they ask how IC is varying, how IL is varying, how IR is varying, those are already simple. IR was already along V, and IC was at 90 ahead of V, and IL was 90 behind V. Okay, lagging behind. IL always lags. How will you remember IL always lags? Either you remember by knowing that we know that IL is equal to J. IL we will get by, either you remember the value of XL. XL will be having J term. Either you remember that way, then automatically we will understand what we will be getting IL. Or you remember that inductors have this property that they tend to oppose the current, because they tend to oppose the current. So therefore current will be lagging in inductors because they tend to oppose the current. Think in this way also. This way also we can tell. Okay. Next we have something called as this has very interesting property because of XL and XC. These are this J omega L, and this is equal to minus J into 1 by omega C. This omega term gives us several interesting properties. Why? Because I have control over varying XL and XC without changing the circuit. I will not even touch the circuit. Circuit has same inductor, circuit has same capacitor, circuit has same resistance. I will not do anything in that, but I will adjust the frequency of the generator or the AC generator, the current, which is the source of current. Its frequency I will change. If I am changing the frequency here, then that will change the omega, and which will change XL, and which will change XC. So without touching the circuit, just by changing the frequency, I am able to change the effective impedance of this is circuit, and also I am able to change the effective value of reactance. And I can change the in such a way also that impedance I can, let us say I want to plot Z impedance versus omega graph for a series RLC circuit. So for series RLC circuit, what kind of graph we will get? J into omega L minus 1 by omega C. I think if it is given that for omega tending to 0, when omega is very less, then what kind of situation we have here? If omega is very less, then when omega will be very less, omega is very less means it is like DC, nearly like DC only. Then 1 by omega C will become large. 1 by omega C will become large. And we know for DC the capacitor behaves like open circuit. And for DC, the inductor after a long time behaves like short circuit.
Open.
Same thing we are getting when omega is tending to 0, when omega is becoming very small, then the inductor is behaving like a short circuit. And we can see from here also omega L is becoming 0. Its reactance is becoming 0. So, but overall impedance will not be less. Why? Because 1 by omega C is very large. 1 by omega C is very, very large. So it will be something like this. It will be having minimum value for when it will be having minimum value. It will be having minimum value for let us try to find minimum value of this. How to find minimum value of Z? dz by d omega I will put equal to 0. If I want to put it 0, I will be getting r square plus omega L minus 1 by omega C square d by d omega equal to 0, just to get when it is minimum. So then I think I will be getting first term is 0. It is r is constant only. Next term, next I have to differentiate. I will be getting 2 into omega L minus 1 by omega C into derivative of omega L will be L, and derivative of 1 by omega C. Derivative of 1 by omega C will become, I think, what will be derivative of my omega raised to power minus 1?
Minus 1 by omega square into
Minus 1 by omega square. So plus 1
Plus
by omega square into C is equal to 0. That is what we are getting. So from this we can notice that second term is positive and first term only we are having, which can be 0. So omega L minus 1 by omega C is equal to 0. So omega is equal to 1 by root of LC. So we can see that Z is minimum. Z is minimum when
Resonance.
omega is equal to this, or when XL is minus XC is equal to 0, or when XL is equal to XC. Only for which case we are discussing. Don't start generalizing it. Only for this, you never forget. This discussion is only and only valid for series RLC circuit. If I start taking parallel RLC circuit, in that case it will be completely different conclusion. I will come to that conclusion also when it is parallel RLC circuit. But it is for series. Z is minimum, and that omega at which we are getting omega is equal to 1 by root LC, that we call as resonating frequency. What we call it as resonating frequency. When frequency of the AC source matches the frequency of oscillation of LC oscillations of the LC circuit. LC oscillation frequency we already know. Last week we have done it. That is always equal to 1 by root of LC. So when LC oscillation frequency is 1 by root LC and external source frequency, AC source frequency also matches with that, then the circuit is said to be in resonance. And when series RLC circuit is in resonance, then what are the conclusions we are getting in resonance? One conclusion: impedance becomes real, or it has only resistive part, but it has no imaginary part, no reactive part. And also Z becomes minimum possible. And what is the minimum possible value of Z? Minimum possible value of Z is just equal to R. That is minimum possible. So when we have just this particular frequency, then Z becomes very less. Now, can we use it to our advantage? Yes, we can use it to our advantage. For example, I want such a circuit. I want to design a circuit where I want to have a more input current flowing in the circuit only for one particular frequency, but not for other frequencies. Then when I will be giving the frequency equal to omega naught or some values close to omega naught, then the current will become maximum. So the current will be oppositely, it will be varying in a reciprocal manner of as when omega is less, sorry, when we have resonating frequency, then the current becomes maximum. Otherwise the current is 0. And here also it is 0, but here it is not symmetric graph. It is not a perfectly symmetric graph. It will be unsymmetric, because here it will become 0 at infinity, but here it is becoming 0 at omega equal to 0 only. And here it is maximum. So at resonance, the current becomes maximum. What happens at resonance? The current becomes maximum. What advantage it gives us? Now it has advantage that you know that in radios, do you know in radios, in old radios, especially the old radio sets used to have some knob here, something like that, and we will turn it. And while we turn it, then there will be some, I don't know, you may not have seen those radios also. In fact, have you seen some radios in which we turn the knob and the some particular channel will be played?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It used to be before, but nowadays such radios don't exist. But earlier we used to have such radios.
Frequency hertz.
For one particular frequency, we have to turn, and then in that frequency we will be hearing the sound of that channel, and other channels we will not be hearing. Why? How it works? It works in this manner. While I am rotating this knob, then I can change the internal inductance and capacitances. How can we change inductance and capacitances? By rotating the knob. Imagine I have a, let us say, capacitor like this, made up of two semicircular plates, and I turn one of the plate with respect to the other. Then overlapping area between the plates will get reduced, or will it remain same? If I turn the upper plate, then effective area will reduce. If one plate is shifted with respect to the other, then effective area will be effective area of overlap will reduce. As a result, capacitance will decrease. It means we have control. By rotating the knob, I can change the capacitance, and I can change the inductance also. Don't think this is only helpful to change the capacitance and we cannot do anything to change the inductance. I am just giving one example. I can change inductance also. I can give you example of changing the inductance. Let us say we have inductor, and within the inductor we have a solenoid. What I am saying, sorry.
Soft iron core.
Soft iron core, yes. Sorry, soft iron core we are having inside. And that soft iron core, I can move outside and inside by rotating the knob. We can have such arrangement. As I turn it, I can move the soft iron core outside. As I move the soft iron core outside, then you know that formula for inductance, I think it involves mu. Do you know it is proportional to mu? And when effective mu will get reduced, then inductance will get reduced. I can change the inductance by putting inside more iron, or by bringing the iron core outside, I can change the inductance. Once I'm able to, but okay, there are ways, means indirectly, there are ways that we can change capacitance and we can change inductance by rotating the knob. And once we are able to do that, then I can achieve this thing now, that let us say the resonating frequency depends on the inversely proportional to root of L and C. And if I'm able to change L and C, then I can change the resonating frequency. Means it can show, one circuit can show resonance at omega 1, but by changing its value of L1 and LC1, if it is L1, it is C1, then it is omega 1. But omega 2 is root of 1 by root of L2 C2. Similarly, omega 3. Similarly, omega 4. And if I want to send the current through this, then I know it will get peak current in this frequency, it will get peak current in this frequency, it will get peak current in. So for different frequencies, we will be getting the peak currents. It means when the knob is turned in such a way, it is rotated in such a way that it is resonating with angular frequency omega 1, means its resonance is with what frequency now? Its resonance is with frequency omega 1. Then when I will be receiving the sound signal of that particular frequency, then I will be getting maximum current flowing in the circuit. And as a result, this circuit will be connected to our speaker, which will be producing more sound from the speaker, and then we will be hearing more sound music from that. If it is music we are playing, whatever we are playing, that particular frequency music we will be hearing, for which that particular frequencies will be being played here, for which this circuit is tuned, or for which this circuit is in resonance. Tuning is also word for resonance. If the circuit is tuned for omega 1 frequency, then the channel, for example, you know that sometimes they say it is a channel of 108 megahertz. They don't use megahertz value, they simply say it is 108 FM, or they will say it is 98 FM. You have heard of it or not? Those are that thing is actually frequency.
Yes, sir.
This 108 is actually 108 megahertz. So if I am tuning my circuit for 108 megahertz, then I will be hearing I will be hearing the sounds corresponding to that only. It does not mean other currents were not flowing, other frequencies were, other signals I am not receiving. Radio is receiving all the signals, but among all the signals, it is giving us more current for a one particular signal, and that signal only we are able to hear. So we are able to hear only one sound, and other sounds we are not able to hear, because their current will become less, and the current corresponding to the frequency which we want to hear will become more. So it has really wonderful application that we are able to change. Other application I will give you for this. We are able to tune the circuit. We are able to tune to a particular frequency. Another example. Let us say we have a resistance R here, and we have a maybe capacitance here like this, and this is AC again of different variable frequency AC. Variable frequency can be changed. So I want to obtain output here. So I can now in this case we know that R is fixed, it cannot change, but XC can change. If I increase XC, then input voltage, more share of input voltage will reach at the output. But if I reduce XC, then more share will reach in which side? Towards the resistance side, because this voltage will get divided in R and XC, but it will get divided according to whether XC is more, then there will be more share obtained in this side. Okay, so means we can change the output voltage. It is the same thing only. We can change the output voltage depending upon the frequency of the input signal. So we use this also to our example, these things I will discuss later on in communication system. There I will tell you something called as modulator, demodulator circuits. There I will tell you how we make use of such type of circuit arrangement. We choose one particular capacitor in such a way so that it is able to give us the desired signal. That thing, okay, it will be coming later on. But anyway, we have many more advantages, or many more places we use it to our advantage, that we are able to change the value of effective resistance, we should say, although it is not resistance, it is impedance, but effective impedance we can change depending upon the frequency of the input. One thing we call as quality factor. What is quality factor? You should be knowing it. And how do we define that also? Let me tell you here. Quality factor is something, if I have a circuit, let us say I have designed a circuit in which there is maximum current for a frequency omega naught, and here the current is after that the current becomes very less. Okay, the current becomes very less. On the other hand, I have a circuit for which I versus omega graph when I plot, then I have something like this here. This way, this kind of circuit is here. Which has better quality? You tell me. First circuit has better quality or second circuit has better quality? Just make a guess.
Second.
First circuit, sir.
Second.
One who is saying first circuit, why are you saying first circuit has better quality? Give me the reason for that.
Sir, because you can
More frequencies.
it's like radio, there will be very much less difference between the frequencies, sir.
If I make a radio and radio is one is omega 1 frequency, another is omega 2, and third one is, let us say, omega 0, omega 1, omega 2. These are the frequencies. It is 98 FM, it is 100 FM, it is 102 FM, something like this, right? So
Yes.
in this case, when I want to play this radio of omega 1 frequency, I'm getting maximum current there, but I'm hearing other voices also, because the current is not much less in omega 0 and current is not much less for omega 2 frequency also. But if on the other hand I have this kind of circuit which quickly reduces the current to such a low level that I am not able to hear the frequencies corresponding to omega 0 and omega 2, then that circuit will be regarded as better. So it is true that first one is better. The sharpness, more the sharpness of this peak, we call it better. The more the sharpness of the peak, the better is the quality of the circuit. The better is the quality factor of that circuit. Is it okay? So you can remember it now. The more the sharpness, okay, if it is more sharp, if it is more flat, then it has less quality, poor quality. If it is more sharp, then it has better quality. Okay, understood or not?
Yes, sir.
So one has better quality as compared to two. But this is just a vague definition. Means if I don't give exact definition, then we will not be able to compare two circuits. We will, sometimes somebody will think that this also appears to be having much more peak and this also appears to have less peak. How to decide now? For example, this has more peak or this has more peak. I cannot decide. It is becoming difficult to decide. So if I want to decide which has a better peak, there is a mathematical definition for that, from which I can say which has better peak and which has better quality. I will define it in this way. If this current is I or it has power P, I will take two frequencies here. One is omega naught plus delta omega, let us say, and other is omega naught minus delta omega. Okay. This may be omega 1 and this may be omega 2, because it may not be same values both sides. It may be different value this side, different value the other side. And here the power will become half, or power becomes half means current becomes, power is proportional to the square of current, then current will become 1 by root 2 times. If power becomes half, then current becomes 1 by root 2 times. So I will say that quality factor we can define in this way. It is nothing but this width, the bandwidth, the width of this, the frequency range from minimum to maximum value, minimum frequency to maximum value at which the power becomes half. Means let us call this thing as omega 2 and let us call the first one as omega 1. Omega 2 is equal to omega naught plus delta omega 2 and omega 1 is equal to omega naught minus delta omega 1. The gap is coming out to be, let us call it delta omega total. That will be equal to, I think, delta omega 2 plus delta omega 1. That is the frequency width. We call it as bandwidth also, we call it band width. Okay, this bandwidth here, or the difference of the frequency, this difference of the angular frequencies when the power is corresponding to the signals when the power is becoming half. That delta omega, we know that, and delta omega divided by omega naught, that is defined as the quality factor. So I think I should say opposite of this, because lesser the bandwidth, better will be the quality. It is inversely proportional to that. So omega naught by delta omega will be defined as quality factor. This is the quality factor, omega divided by delta omega. But how to find it out? How to find omega by delta omega in series RLC circuit? Can you find it out? How to find delta omega, first of all? How to find out that place where the power becomes half or the current becomes 1 by root 2? I know that current formula is V by Z, inversely proportional to Z it is. So I can tell that if Z is becoming, let us say, how many times? Root 2 times. If Z is becoming root 2 times the value of Z at omega naught, then the current will become 1 by root 2 times automatically. So I can say Z should become root 2 times the value of Z at resonance. What is the value of Z at resonance? There it is R. So this is the equivalent condition. when z will become root 2 times z, root 2 time r, then at that time automatically the power of the circuit will be reduced to 1 by 2. Okay, power will be reduced to 1 by 2. Approximately. What?
Z is equal to omega naught by delta omega, sir.
Z is omega naught by delta omega. Yes, it is omega naught by delta omega. Okay, what is delta omega here? Delta omega I have to find out. That is, I have to find out two frequencies. One frequency omega 2 where the impedance becomes root 2 times. If impedance becomes root 2 times, then the power will become, we can say, although power may not become half there. Why? Because this is also there, no? You know that power does not only power is like this: v square by z. What is the power formula? I square into r. V by z square into r.
V square by R.
VRMS dot IRMS
VRMS
dot product.
no, but I think right only. Then right only. VRMS, that right only.
Sir,
Right
this
only.
solution.
Right only. It is correct only. So power will become half when z will become root 2 times. So therefore I am using this condition: z should become root 2 times. But z has two things: r square plus x square under the root is equal to root 2 times r. Then if I take the square, then I get r square plus x square is equal to r square, 2 into r square. Then indirectly x is equal to r. What is x here? X is equal to xl minus xc should be equal to r. Or I can say condition is omega l minus 1 by omega c is equal to r. Or I am getting, what is the omega value coming out to be from here? I think I will be getting from here quadratic. Why I am getting quadratic? I was expecting quadratic because I have two values, omega 1 and omega 2, for which the power becomes half. I am trying to find out z. I am trying to find out z, value of z for which power becomes half. And why I am doing that? Power becomes half. Why I am trying to find that value? Because by definition, we have defined the quality factor in this way, that when the power becomes half, corresponding to those omegas, if we know, then omega 2 minus omega 1 and this omega in the middle, omega naught upon omega 2 minus omega 1 will give us the quality factor. So I need to know this omega 2 and omega 1. Can you find out the omega 2 minus omega 1 value here from this quadratic equation here? Let us first write the quadratic equation. Quadratic equation is omega square into L minus 1 by C is equal to R omega, or I can write omega square into minus R omega by L, divide by L also, minus 1 by LC is equal to 0. Can you get the difference of the roots? Omega 2 and omega 1 are the roots of the equation. If you are able to get the difference of the roots, then that will be enough for us. We don't have to find roots in order to get the difference. There is a direct formula, so we can get the difference. How can we get the difference?
Root
I
delta
think
by
we can get difference by this way: omega 1 plus omega 2
L
square
whole square
minus
4 into
4
product
omega
of
1
sum.
omega 2. This, and we know the product and we know the sum. Sum of the roots is, I think sum of root formula is, what is sum of root formula? This only, b by this only, I think. Minus 4 into 1 by LC plus it will become, I think, here, right? Right, plus. Is it correct or not? Tell me if I am doing it wrong.
under root, sir.
Sir, I think we will be
Root,
under-
okay.
Correct only. Under root.
Remaining is correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Correct.
Then we know omega 2 minus omega 1. Then I don't have to find roots also. I don't have to find omega 2 omega 1. I got omega 2 minus omega 1. After getting this, what is our formula? Formula was omega naught by omega 2 minus omega 1.
Delta 1.
That was the quality factor. I think we can get the quality factor now, because omega naught we know it is just 1 by root of LC divided by omega 2 minus omega 1. We know that is equal to this thing, which is equal to r square by L square plus 4 by LC. Actually, I was expecting somewhat different answer. Why is it happening that way? I'm getting something different here, but I was expecting different answer. Let me tell you what is the answer, which normally I remember. I think answer is XL upon R or R upon XL, something like that. XL upon R, I think that was answer. I think so, something. I don't remember exactly. Wait a second. Let me check once. quality factor. Excel upon omega naught into L by R. Was it that? I think that only. Am I getting that here? I don't seem to be getting that, right? I think maybe they use approximation after that or what? Let me check once. If I, this is what here, this is omega naught. 1 by, this is omega naught square, 4 into omega naught square, right? 4 into omega naught square, and numerator we have omega naught. If they may be using approximation here, if I assume the second term is negligible as compared to the first term, then I will be getting exactly what they write. Then I will be getting omega naught upon L R by L, which is omega naught into L by R. I think it is right only. I think we neglect the second term as compared to the first term. When we can neglect the second term, we can neglect the second term in those cases where 4 by LC is very, very small as compared to R square by L square, or where I can say that, what can I write? No. 1L we can cancel. We can say 4 by C is less than R square by L. Or let me write it in another way. 2 by root of LC, if I write 2 by root of LC is very, very less as compared to R by L. Or root LC is very, very, very large as compared to L by R. Something like that we are getting. Then only it will happen. Okay. Okay, let me do one thing. Here I have one book also. I can see what is given in that book. Erudov. Let me check once. This is here. This is Erudov here. What was I looking for? I was looking for quality factor. QUALITY, quality factor. It is not having that. How is it so possible? I think Erudov does not have AC chapter, it seems. In this Erudov, it is not there. Let me check another book. For an RLC circuit with voltage of amplitude given, omega naught given, current exhibits resistance, the quality factor is given by. Let us see what is answer given by them for this quality factor. Question number 4. I was getting omega naught into L by R, right? But we can write it in multiple ways. Why? Because I can write in terms of capacitance also. Let us write in terms of capacitance, because we can have multiple answers. But it is mains. Mains means one answer will be possible in mains, I think, right? Then only one answer. Let me check once. Question topic. Which topic was it? Topic 6. Topic 6, question number 4. B. Same answer only, I think. We were getting that only. Omega naught into L by R. Where is it? Oh, that only omega naught into L by R. Sixth topic. This one, omega naught into L by R only. But we can write it in some other ways. For example, I may prefer to write it as, I may this is also another way to define quality factor. Energy stored in the oscillator upon energy dissipated per radian. I will tell you why this definition also works. I will give you that explanation also. This is another way to define quality factor. Energy stored in an oscillator upon energy dissipated per radian. Let us see what is given in NCERT for this. The phenomenon is called interesting characteristic of series RLC circuit is there. Phenomenon resonance. The circuit exhibits resonance. The amplitude of the circuit is maximum. Amplitude of current at the circuit is maximum at resonant frequency when omega naught is equal to 1 by root of LC. Quality factor is given by omega naught L by R, and we can write in this another way also. You can see it 1 by omega naught CR. It is same thing only. Can you prove that it is also equal to 1 by omega naught CR? Think about it, how to prove. We can write omega naught value as 1 by root LC and compare both sides. It will be same thing. Is it coming out to be same or not?
Yes, sir.
Omega naught into L by R, and another is 1 by, and see, we are representing, we can think in this way also, that quality factor is defined as omega naught into L by R was time constant, R by L was time constant, or L by R? R by L.
L by R, sir. L by R.
L by R, L by R.
Time constant.
L by R was, so
L by R.
one we are getting in terms of inductive time constant, and second we are getting in terms of RC time constant. RC is also time constant, no? So we can write in terms of omega naught into LR, L by R, and we can write 1 by omega naught into CR. These are both are giving the same thing only. Right. Okay.
it is there.
In order you found it?
Yes, sir.
Why could I not get it? Wait a second. Okay. Now see.
Sir,
Let us
not
see.
that, not that conceptual one, sir.
Not okay. It is in problem book, I think, right?
It's a problem.
In problem book, it will be there. Okay. See here in NCERT also there is something given about it. Let us see in NCERT what they have given it. In 12th class NCERT. And especially if it is given in NCERT, those things are very important for us as it is. We should remember this. Amplitude of the, we know this, I think. You know this first part, amplitude is equal to maximum voltage upon R square plus omega. This we know already. We know it, right? Then
Yes, sir.
omega naught is this, that also you know. Then this is omega 1 is omega naught plus delta, and this is omega naught minus delta omega, right? And then bandwidth is defined as 2 into delta omega. This is omega 2 minus omega 1. This we call as bandwidth of the circuit. I told you already, it is called as bandwidth of the circuit. And in this bandwidth, they are saying current becomes 1 by root 2 times. Same thing only. Everything is that only. I think we are in, I did nothing wrong here. It is right. Everything is right only. But why I was getting somewhat different where they are using approximation? I want to just check that only, because my answer was slightly different. No, at last I used approximation.
Sir, take yours.
They took delta omega, delta
Okay,
omega.
they also use approximation.
Zero. Okay.
This is there. This
Difference.
is the approximation part here. So they also use the approximation. That's why it means it is exactly the same thing only. Nothing is wrong here. We have to use approximation here like this. Then only we are able to say, and this is the thing, when delta omega is very less as compared to omega naught. And why this is very less, I gave you the reason for that. We want to design a circuit for which delta omega must be very less as compared to omega naught. Then only we will say its quality is better. Okay. Otherwise, when we will be playing music of one channel, we will be hearing the music of other channels also. Okay, we don't want that to happen. So the circuit should have better quality. So it should have delta omega less compared to the omega naught value. So that is true. Then we are getting this, and at last we are getting this. Okay, fine. So whatever we have done, our method was slightly different from their method. You can go through this also. How they, I think there also is somewhat similar only. Up to this it is same. After that we did something else, and they did something else. But anyway, answer result will be same only. Result will be same at last. Okay. So there will be no difference in the result. One boy is asking me what happens when the bandwidth is low. First of all, let me tell you one thing about bandwidth. That bandwidth is not only used in this place, just in this particular quality factor chapter only, or in this resonance, in this our discussion is going on. Here bandwidth has a different meaning. Normally bandwidth, whenever we use bandwidth, it is only difference of some frequencies. But what those frequencies are, that depends from case to case. Sometimes bandwidth may mean, for example, while you are using internet connection, they will say my internet connection is poor, it has less bandwidth. Or we say that 4G, when the mobiles which are based on 4G, they can utilize more bandwidth, or the these providers, the internet providers, when they are able to provide us with larger bandwidth, then we are able to see the videos properly, and the speed will be more. So that bandwidth is somewhat different as compared to this. So while we are saying bandwidth, that is used in multiple places. It is used in communication chapter, it is used in this place also, and it is used in some other places also. So every time, although everywhere, wherever we are using bandwidth, somehow it is related to difference of some frequencies. But don't try to generalize it. Don't try to generalize it. Means don't now if I directly tell you what happens if we have low bandwidth, while this boy who is asking me, he may be having some other ideas in mind. I don't know what you are thinking. But if I want to discuss for this particular case, here what will happen if we have low bandwidth for this particular case only? Then yes, then quality factor will become better. And if quality factor becomes better, then sharpness of the peak will become better. Which peak? I versus omega graph peak. That peak of that graph will become better. This has lesser peak and this has better peak. More peak means more quality and less bandwidth. That is how you can think. Okay. But don't try to generalize it. Don't think that if you hear bandwidth somewhere else, don't think that bandwidth will be same as this. That will be that may be meaning different also, most likely. Okay. So I think okay, it is okay then, fine. And next we can go to back to our where we were. This here. So we know what is quality factor, and we can define in two ways. One way is omega 1 upon omega naught into RC also. That is another way to define this. Or it is also equal to omega naught by delta omega. All these are same thing. Or we can say it is also equal to XL by R. Or we can say it is also magnitude of XL by R. Or we can say it is also equal to 1 by omega. I can write it also something, I think so. 1 by omega C. That will become XC by R, I think, right? Yes. All these different ways we can define it. Okay. Although while I'm saying XL by R, then here XL means omega into L, but omega is variable. Therefore, I should say here, I should tell here which XL we are talking about. We are talking about XL during a resonance. XL naught, I can say XL naught divided by R, or it is also equal to XC naught divided by R, or it is also equal to omega naught divided by delta omega, or it is also equal to this thing. All these are same. Or omega naught into time constant of LC circuit, or it is equal to 1 by omega naught into time constant of RC circuit. Means all different ways. Same thing only at any time. And one more thing which I told you before, it is also equal to energy stored in the oscillator upon energy dissipated per radian. Something like that also we define. But why we define that way? For that, I think I will have to. It will take more time. Okay, I will explain that some other time, not now. It has something to do with normal oscillators also. In this oscillator also, means normal oscillator, which is not electrical oscillator, not electrical oscillations, but the oscillations of just a mass. For that also we can define in this way.
R into root L.
For this also we can define this quality factor, but there
Can we
affect-
write?
Can we write what?
Can we write quality factor as R into root over C by L?
R into root over C by L. Let me check once. Means it will, if it is coming out to be that equal to that, then that is also okay. R into root, is it coming out to be that only? And then right only, then that also will be okay. But it will not give us any means it will not give us any insight. What is it meaning? Nothing. Or is it? Are you having some idea that it means something? To me, it does
No,
not.
sir. RC is time constant and LR is time L by R time constant, no, sir. But simply I divided time constant by time constant.
Okay. So you are thinking in this way. It is R into
Omega
time
naught,
constant of RC circuit divided by what?
omega naught
One of-
into, sir. Omega
Oh,
naught.
You are saying
Omega
okay.
naught
Understand.
into root over
Time constant of RC circuit divided by time constant of L R circuit. That is what you are
Yeah,
doing.
sir.
Huh? RC
Yes,
divided
sir.
by L by R, and then taking root of this. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Right. That also is okay. Yes. All these are equivalent only. All these are equivalent only. You remember any one of these formula? But you understand that if one of the formula is there, then sometimes it may be written in another way. Option, for example, if you just remember omega naught into L by R, and you don't have this idea that it is also equal to 1 by omega RC, chances are that you may take this and you may leave this option, although it is also correct. Therefore, I wrote it in different ways that all these answers could be correct only. So therefore, even if you face a multiple choice option, then you will not leave unnecessarily some questions which you have not, some options which you are not familiar with. So you understand that there can be different ways we can write quality factor. Okay. Next, parallel RLC circuit. In parallel RLC circuit, what will happen to Z value during resonance? What is resonance in parallel RLC circuit? First of all, always we can define resonance in one way only. Whenever circuit is in resonance, we say that the frequency is such that the reactive part becomes 0 and the Z becomes real. Z is only equal to effective resistance. It becomes real. That happens always. Whatever case we choose, then we will say circuit is in resonance. But if I want to do this thing for parallel RLC circuit,
then also getting same resonance frequency.
But then something different happens in this case. In this case, Z becomes maximum during resonance. In this case, Z becomes maximum during resonance, and I becomes minimum during resonance. So don't remember this thing that I has to be maximum during resonance. I discussed so much about the quality factor before by taking this thing that I becomes maximum during resonance, but not always I will be maximum during resonance. I can be minimum during resonance if the circuit is parallel RLC circuit. And now there are not just two kinds of circuits, either parallel or series. There can be different so many other varieties possible, some mixed combination. And in all other such cases, we have to analyze in a different way there. But yes, in all of these cases, one thing will surely happen. I think either Z will keep on either I think Z will become minimum or it will become maximum. That I think will always happen. This I think will always happen. Although I have not proved it yet, but this is just my feeling only. I think that will always happen. Z will be either minimum or it will be maximum for any of the cases. Okay, but in this particular parallel RLC, I am sure in parallel RLC Z becomes maximum during resonance, and in series RLC Z becomes minimum during resonance. And what is the maximum value of Z? Here Z maximum is equal to R. And what is the minimum value of Z in series RLC? There it is equal to R. Here Z maximum is equal to R. There Z minimum is equal to R. Okay. All right. And luckily, it is also in resonance for the same condition when omega naught is equal to 1 by root of LC, or when XL is equal to XC, then this is in resonance. But this thing also fails. I think yesterday only I gave you this example when it fails. When it is just mixed circuit, mixed combination, not a parallel RLC, not a series RLC, some other combination, then the condition for resonance fails there. It is not just omega naught equal to 1 by root LC. It will be some other condition. If you remember what I took one example from yesterday's class. What was that? You remember that one? Some different condition we were getting, no?
In one branch, in one branch inductor and capacitor, in another branch capacitor.
I think this only. This was that. No, not this. This is today's class only. But I think you remember, you can go there and you can see that we were getting some different case also. So, so what is the main condition for resonance? If I'm asking again and again, I'm stressing again and again. The main thing, we define resonance in several ways. Somebody may say a circuit is said to be in resonance when omega is equal to. Somebody may say circuit is said to be in resonance when omega is equal to 1 by root LC, but it is not correct. When it is in resonance, it is in resonance when the reactive part becomes 0 and when Z is only real. Then, or we can say when current and voltage are in same phase, when I and V are in same phase. That is also equivalent to saying that Z will be real. Or we can say that the I and these two things are equivalent only. I and V are in same phase, or Z will be real. Both are same. Okay. Then the circuit will be in resonance. For resonance, in general, these two things will always be valid. Okay. All right. And what else is there for this week? Transformers is also there for this week. Transformers. And what else is there? Eddy currents. Transformers and eddy currents. And if anything else is also there, then you remind me. But I think I remember this much only. Transformers is there. Eddy currents is there. Generator is there, or that is done already? The generator is done.
AC done.
Generator is done already, right?
Yes, sir.
Motor is there. AC motor, DC motor. I think that will not be there. If it is there, then you tell me, then I will take that also. But I think it is not there. Normally, motors are not taught, but sometimes they give that also. I don't remember exactly what is the syllabus. Let us say this is the why I am drawing in this way. Wait a second. Let me draw in different. Okay. This is a transformer in which transformer core, the core of transformer, around which we will wind a coil. There will be a coil around it. This is a coil around it. Current carrying coil. This side also
What
there
is
will be.
choke coil?
Choke coil is inductance. Inductor.
Yeah.
It is a inductor only, and it is a I think a good inductor. I think having large inductance, something like that we call as choke coil.
In syllabus they gave us.
Very high inductance, low resistance.
No resistance. Ideal inductor, we can say.
Okay.
This is it, right? This is primary. But yes, it is true that you should know the meaning also. If you don't know choke coil, even if I have taught the complete inductance, then also you may not be able to answer it just because you don't know the term. Yes, terms are also important. So if any such other unfamiliar term you face, then you can tell me, you can remind me. This is one inductor here, and it is primary winding. This is called as primary winding. Primary. And this one is called as secondary. And some magnetic field lines will be going from here through the iron core. So if there is no field lines leaking to the surroundings, then the field lines will be reaching here also. Now, it has N1 number of turns, it has N2 number of turns. I think I should represent field lines by different color. These are the field lines here. Green field lines. Secondary coil, primary winding, or primary coil, secondary winding or secondary coil. It has N1 number of turns, it has N2 number of turns. Secondary has N2 number of turns. And then input voltage is Vi, and output voltage we are obtaining here is V output. So what is d phi by dt? EMF, right? Magnitude of EMF. If I take magnitude wise, it is EMF. And we know same flux is here, same flux. So those field lines are going to the other side. If there is no flux leakage to the surroundings, which is actually true thing, the flux will be leaking to the surroundings also. But if we assume no flux is leaking to the surroundings and very less flux is leaking to the surroundings, then these field lines will be reaching to the secondary circuit as it is. And when that happens, then what will be the EMF in the primary side? In the EMF in the primary side here will be equal to N1 into d phi by dt. And what will be EMF in the secondary side? N2 into d phi by dt. Let us call this EMF in the primary side as, what should I call it?
EP.
E primary. That also is okay. E primary. E primary, and this is E secondary. E primary or E1, I can say E1 simply, and it is E secondary. V1, V2 also we can call. Now, what is it finally? I think I can call only one because already I am representing N1 and N2, so I will be calling E1 and E2. That is better. E1 and E2. E1 and E2. Then I will be getting E1 by E2 as N1 by N2. Okay. This is one equation which we are having. Another equation we are having is based on efficiency of transformer. This is one main equation we are having, and another equation we have that is based on efficiency. If a transformer is 100% efficient, if efficiency is 100% or eta is equal to 1 in percentage, this is percentage efficiency, this is just a unit efficiency, 1 unit. Okay, it is in percentage. Then power input will be equal to power output. But actually that never happens. There are so many losses inside. I will tell you what are those losses, but right now assume there are no losses. Flux leakage is not the only loss. In fact, that loss will be, I think, less as compared to some other losses also there. Some heat currents are being produced within the transformer also. Those also will result in losses. Heat currents are produced within the transformers, and some other losses are also there. If we neglect those losses which are within the transformer, and also in the primary winding also there are some losses. Means in this it has let us say it has some resistance, input resistance here also, and it has some here resistance of the secondary. So in the resistance also there will be some losses. So complete EMF which we are giving here, this will not be reaching in the secondary side. Not EMF otherwise also we don't want to reach, but I want to say that the power will not be reaching completely. So what is the power here? Power input will be, let us say, E1 into I1, and power output will be E2 into I2. If there is no loss anywhere for the time being, ideal case, then even I1 will be equal to E2 I2. Otherwise, if losses are there, then E2 I2 will be equal to eta times E1 I1. If I am talking about which kind of efficiency, unit efficiency, not percentage efficiency. If it is percentage efficiency, then I have to divide by 100 also. Then if it is percentage efficiency, then I have to divide by 100 also. Okay, means we can say like this. Percentage will be written like this: output power, E2 I2 output power, input power, E1 I1 input power into 100. That is percentage efficiency. So if efficiency is given in percentage, then I will write in this way. If it is not given in percentage, if it is given as a number, fraction, as a fraction, then fractional efficiency, then I will write like this: E2 I1 upon I1 is equal to eta. Then E2 I2 will be equal to eta times E1 I1. One thing that we have to notice, and it is contradictory to our imagination, E1 upon I2 is, what is E1 upon E2? E1 upon E2 is N1 upon N2. No problem so far. We understand it. But this one is equal to also I2 upon I1. If eta is 1. If eta is 1, then it is I2 upon I1. If it is not 1, then also I can say that I is inversely proportional to E. even if eta is not equal to 1. This is a surprising fact for some students, those who don't understand the things properly. What is surprising for some students? They think that more voltage means more current, but here more current and less voltage. What is happening here? Why they think that more voltage means more current? Because they think V is equal to IR, but here V is not equal to IR. It is a circuit which is not pure resistive circuit. It is a circuit which has inductance. This winding is like an inductor. It is a circuit which has inductance. And for inductance, we don't have such rule that if I is more, then V will be more. For inductance, anything can happen. This thing can also happen that I is more and E will be less. That also can happen in that case. Okay, so it is not necessarily true that if I is more, then E will be more. But somebody, I think, may still think that even then somebody may still not get satisfied that how is it possible. Let me explain in another way, then you will understand, I think, this one. This is here inductor, and it has current I, and this is L into di by dt is equal to voltage across it. Let us call it E1. It is I1. It is L1. Now, how to make wait a second, not this only. Effective circuit diagram will not be this. It will be involving the mutual inductance also. So what will be the equivalent circuit diagram for this? Equivalent circuit diagram, I think, will become like this here. This inductor has L1 inductance, but mutual inductance is M. So effectively, if mutual inductance is supporting then it will become, how can it be supporting? It will be opposing, because this only is causing that current. This current will never support it, never support the cause. It will oppose it only. So it will be opposing only. It cannot be supporting. So I can write E1 it cannot be supporting anytime. You understand why? Because there is no, the secondary circuit is not having any source of EMF. That is only being produced because of the primary circuit. So therefore, the secondary circuit will never be supporting it. Otherwise, it will violate the Lenz law. It will be opposing it always. So mutual inductance I will put with negative sign only. Then I will write E1 is, let us say, EMF here. E1 minus L1 into di1 by dt plus minus of minus will become plus, plus m into di2 by dt is equal to 0. Then I can write this thing as E1 is equal to L1 minus m into d. No, I cannot take that common again. Problem. What should I do now? In ideal case, what was the situation? In ideal case, situation was that I1 upon I2, but let us go to this equation here.
I2 upon I1 equals to
I2 upon I1 will be equal to N1
E1
upon N2.
upon E2.
Let us write in terms of N1 upon N2, because it is a constant. If I am able to write in terms of constant, then I can differentiate easily. So I am writing in terms of constant, but I can write this thing then E1 will become equal to E1 is equal to L1 into
L1 into
di1 by
di by
dt plus
M
into I1 di1 by dt multiplied by what? I2 by I1 was N1 by
N1
N2.
by N2.
N1 by N2.
Into
So
N1 by N2.
into N1 by N2, right? This is a factor here. So we are getting L1 into L1 plus M into N1 by N2 into di1 by dt is equal to E1. Is it right or not? That is this. we are getting here.
Sir, one scroll up, sir.
L minus.
Sir,
minus
so
CM
E1 is
minus
equal to
M.
Minus it will be
Hmm.
minus. What will be for the secondary circuit equation? Secondary circuit equation will be, let us say it has L2 inductance, and effective equivalent diagram for this will become now E2 is the EMF here, and EMF produced will be equal to L2 EMF will be produced because of mutual inductance here. So I can say it will be M into di1 by dt minus L2 into di2 by dt. That is E2. What is that coming out to be? Let us check it now. That is coming out to be M into,
Sir, minus sign, sir. Into
where minus?
E2 is equals to minus of what you written that one.
Magnitude wise, I think this only. Magnitude, this is acting as a source of EMF, which is producing the current in the second circuit, whatever current is being produced in this. Although I am not, again, one more thing, secondary circuit, I think I'm assuming it to be short circuit. That then only I can write this equation. If I don't assume it to be short circuit, then this equation will not be valid also. Depends on the situation, what circuit I am taking it to be. If I assume it to be open circuit, then I2 will be 0 only. Then I2 will not be there, but I1 will still be there. So you understand, first of all, this relation which I am writing here, that I2 upon I1 will be equal to this. This is not always valid. In fact, I cannot say it is equal. These are not equal, I should say, but I can say that yes, if E is more, then I can be less. I'm not saying these are just inversely proportional only. If I start saying that, then I think it will be overstatement, and then means this equality sign is overstatement. We cannot say that, but it has some kind of we can say relation in such a way, rather than saying equal to, we can say like this here. Although no, wait a second, here assumption was different. Here my assumption is, if the power is constant, then correct only, then I have to write that one.
Eta equal to 1.
If it is that, then it is, if I am assuming eta to be 1, then it is correct. But if it is not that, then I can say simply that not inversely proportional also, but I can say that's inversely proportional also means something else. If E becomes double, I becomes half, not like that. I can say if E1 is more, then I1 can be less. E1 and more, and I1 can be less. It can be less, but in what way it varies, that is not like direct proportionally varying, in inversely proportionally varying. That thing will not be correct, I think. So we should not do that. But we don't have such direct relation, and we can see from here also. But yes, it is possible that EMF is more and current is less. That is quite possible. Why I am doing that, and what I was trying to prove here, if I want, why I am stressing on it again and again, that if E1 is more, the current can still be less, because I want to prove something here. Why we use transformers? What is the advantage of transformers? You know that, have you seen besides roads or besides the railway tracks, sometimes long transmission lines, long lines, very long, they are moving, and finally they reach our house, into our house also. And you have seen that sometimes they will be writing that it is very, very high voltage, maybe 11,000 volt, or sometimes I think 33,000 volt also. That kind of voltage is there in those transmission lines, by which finally then they come to, then these transmission lines, from there the energy is the power is distributed to a town. When it is distributed to a town, then it is not distributed in such high voltage. The voltage is there reduced somewhat, and when it reaches to our house, then I don't know with what voltage it enters. Maybe it enters in some 11,000 voltage, or what voltage, I don't know. But finally, at last, when we receive in our house, then it is very less voltage. Then it is how much? It is just 220 volts.
220.
So that is possible. While it is coming in 220 volts here, it is possible because of a transformer. What transformer does? Transformer is able to do this. We can decide how small E2 I want, as compared to E1 by changing the ratio of N2 and N1 accordingly. I will keep N2 to be very less as compared to N1, then E2 will become less as compared to E1. I can reduce the voltage easily. When N2 is less than N1, there is a name for it. There are two kinds of transformers, N2 less than N1 kind, N1 greater than N2 kind. This one we call as, because the second voltage becomes less, output voltage becomes less, so we call it as, what we call it? We call it as step down transformer. What we call it? Step down transformer. And when it is increased voltage, when voltage is increased, no, wait a second, is it right? Or yes, right only. N1 more means E1 more. N1 more, sorry, second should be written this way. N2 more. N2 more means output will be more, so it will be step up transformer. Step up means when the voltage output is more as compared to input voltage, or as compared to primary voltage, the secondary voltage is more, then we call it a step up transformer. So two kinds of transformers are possible, step up and step down. So when the electricity comes to our house, it comes in high voltage first up to the transformer, then from transformer, when it reaches our house, then it reduces to 220 volt. Before it is step down transformer. It is a step down transformer. So something like that we use, I think, for our chargers also. Mobile charger, I think, no, there it is different circuit, although somewhat different it is. Just transformer is not enough. But there also we do something like that. We reduce the voltage. But after reducing the voltage, for the chargers, we do something else also. We
The resistance.
convert,
AC/DC converting.
yes, we convert it into DC also. We convert it into DC also. For our laptops or for our chargers, we convert it into these mobiles, we convert it into DC. But other than that, we reduce the voltage also. So we do both the things. We reduce the voltage, we convert into DC also. But that there it is some different circuit. But in the circuit which is that transformer which you have seen in your near your houses or in some villages or wherever in your towns, those transformers are just step down transformers only, which are bringing the voltage down. Okay. We can have step up transformers also. Why do we use the step down transformers? Why don't we do this thing that directly we generate 220 volt only, and same only we keep on distributing everywhere?
Power loss. Transmission
There will be lot of power loss will be there. If we supply the power in that voltage only, then there will be lot of power loss. Can you explain how the power loss will be there if it is 220 volt?
More wires contains more resistance, no, sir.
Long wire will contain more resistance. That is true. Long wire will contain more resistance. But
I
voltage,
square or power dissipation.
That will be increased, sir.
and voltage is less. Let us say I am producing 220 volt only. I am producing 220 volt only. Then what is the problem? 220 volt here.
Sorry, even if it produces some 30 or 40 volt difference means it will be huge for 220, sir. But for thousands means thousands of volts, it's nothing, sir.
First of all, if I am getting at the input of the transformer side 220, then it does not mean that where it was produced there also it was 220. There it was something else, somewhat more than that. It may be more than that. It may be 240 or something. It may be more than that. It will not be just 220 only. Okay, it will be something more than that. And then the current will be produced in this because of the potential difference. Obviously, I want this current to be much less. If I want the current to be much less, and I want the more power to be delivered with less current also. Power delivered should be more, remember, power delivered should be more, but current should be less. So if I am keeping voltage also less and current also I want less only, because otherwise there will be more losses if I square R is more. Then power delivered to our houses will also become less because current is less and the voltage is also less. But I want power to be high. At the same time, I want the current which is in these long transmission wires, I want the current to be less. Then only I have one option. Power should be high only. Power should not become less. Why power should not become less? Because we want to, in our houses, we are consuming electricity in so many different ways. Fan, AC, so many things. So we have lot of energy needs. So we need lot of power in the secondary side. We need lot of power there. So if secondary side power is more, then input side power also should be more. And power is more, then power is composed of two components. One is V and one is I. Out of that, if I try to increase I, then because of the long wires are over coming over long distance, then resistance will be more. So I square R losses will become more. I don't want those losses to be there. So I will keep I to be less. Then power will become more only by keeping voltage to be more. So voltage I will keep more, but I will keep less. So that the power dissipated in the long wires will be less. Understood? Power dissipated in the long wires will become less. Is it understood or is it a doubt for someone? Tell me if it is a doubt. Understood?
Sir.
Right. Therefore, we keep means power we can transfer in two ways. We can transfer power by giving more current, less voltage, even if voltage is less. But that is not a suitable option. Voltage should be more and current should be less only. If that way we deliver more power, then it is better for us. Then dissipation will be less. Power dissipated will become less. So that is what we do, right?
Sir, time.
Yes. Time is up. Okay, then remaining things we can discuss tomorrow. And
The power
as
factor.
what?
Power factor.
Power factor, I told you. What are you talking about? Really? Power factor, I told you cos phi. Did I not use this word power factor? I don't know. I may have forgotten to use the word. But power factor is nothing but that. What is power? What is power formula? VRMS dot
VRMS.
that is power. That is equal to VRMS into IRMS into cos of phi. This is normally we know the power formula is, what is the power formula if it is a DC? It is just V into I. But here it has additional multiplication factor. That additional multiplication factor which we are having, that is called as power factor. So what is the power factor? Power factor is just cos phi. What is that? That is also equal to R by Z.
R by mod Z.
R by mod Z. That is power factor. Okay. Okay, then you do the problems today, and tomorrow I will take some more questions. Maybe from Pathfinder I can take some questions tomorrow. Okay. Today you can attempt from Pathfinder. You should be able to do from Pathfinder. By what you know, if you apply it properly, you should be able to do from Pathfinder also. Don't worry about it really. You can do from Pathfinder also. Okay. Although there is one difficult question in Pathfinder. If you are not able to do that, you leave it. There is question like this somewhere. I have seen it. Some 3 coils are there, and that is stuff. I will take it myself only. Okay. That you leave, but other questions you can do. Okay, then I am ending it now.